Gentleman writes, I think a lot of businesses are going to be gone when this Wuhan virus is behind us. Would that be a good time to start a business? What kind of business would be best? Interesting question on a couple levels. Number one, will there be small businesses in particular that will not survive? Sadly, yes. We've already seen some of that. We've seen a number of small businesses in our communities that were, perhaps they were already planning an exit. We had one home and garden supply business that we adored, been in business 35 years. They had already planned that they had kind of reached their limit and no kids to take it over, so it seemed like the right time and they closed it up. Other businesses are going to close because they weren't well prepared. Other businesses are going to close because they weren't running a very good business to start with. And the virus simply was the final, straw that broke the camel's back. So are there going to be a lot of businesses that are going to be gone? The answer is yes. Is it a wise strategy to look at the block that you're in your town and go, okay, on this block, 4 businesses are out and 3 of them serve food, so I'm going to start a food business? That's a dreadful strategy. That's a dreadful way to be able to decide. And it's not that isn't a technique for a decision. That's just wishful thinking. It's kind of like trying to drive forward by looking in the rearview mirror. Wow, that was a mess, that was a mess, that was a mess. Maybe we can do it better. That's a dreadful idea. What is a good idea? It's an odd phrase for a lot of folks, but it's called market research. You actually have to spend a fair amount of time, a fair amount of effort in determining what service or product people want. So if you intend to have a brick and mortar, you have a location and you're going to provide a service or a product, don't do any of that until you determine what people want, what people need. Now, coming out of the virus, a lot of things have become very clear. Normal is going to be different. But a lot of things that people are assuming will be different, I don't think so. People are assuming people will never go back to sporting events. I think just the opposite. I think once it's safe, people will flood back to sporting events. People are assuming people will not eat in restaurants. I think that's crazy talk. Give me a good restaurant and a safe way to eat there, I'm back. People are assuming that that Zoom and Skype and GoToMeeting, that's going to be the wave of the future, and that professionals are no longer going to meet with their clients one-on-one. I think that's the silliest thing I ever heard. And I have anecdotal proof. I know that sounds like a Swedish yodel. It isn't. Anecdotal proof, meaning my own experience. I haven't done the academic research to show that people are hungry for human interaction. So what kind of businesses do I think will do well? I think they're the kind that actually treat people as human beings, that as much as possible remove the quote-unquote technology, or at least the appearance of the technology, and decrease the interference between one person and another. It should also match your skills. Your email doesn't give me any indication whatsoever what your skills are. And by the way, I have found in my 780 years of experience that businesses that are started for the sole and express purpose of making money rarely do. And businesses that are started because somebody has a skill that they want to share, that they want to serve people with, often make a tremendous amount of money. I know I didn't answer your question specifically. I'm not that upset about that. I think I gave you more information that's more important than answering your question specifically. I think I gave you a track to follow as you do your own market research. Gene at AskMTM.com.
See